Oh my god, it actually works! Wonder Woman is out in theaters now, and fans and critics both like it. That is so nice to say. I already have my non-spoiler review of this up, so if you haven't seen the film and you don't want to be spoiled, I'm about to get into spoilers. Check out that review. You've been warned. Let's continue. Can we just take a minute and actually breathe for a second and realize how far we've come in regards to comic book adaptations to the big screen starring women? In 1984, we had Supergirl. That was trash. In 2004, we had Catwoman. That was real trash. And in 2005, we had Elektra, which was just really bad. I mean, this is kind of incredible. Yeah, this is like history. This is awesome. Wonder Woman genuinely was everything I wanted out of a Wonder Woman movie and more, because not only did we get a lot of really badass action sequences, like when she flips that tank over, when she goes like head first into a tank, or when they do the shield trick and she launches into the air and destroys the entire top of that building. They didn't even have to show the dead body of the sniper. That building, you're just like, yeah, that guy's fucked. That opening action sequence on Themyscira was so incredible and really emotional. Robin Wright's character, who was the primary mentor of Diana, dies, and so that's a big moment for her. But along with all of that badass action, even more importantly, Patty Jenkins, the director, infused quite a bit of emotion into this film. This is a movie that isn't just about action sequences. In fact, there are long portions of this movie where nobody does anything of an action standpoint, because the film takes a lot of time to set up these characters as realistic people, as human beings, and it finds the humor in some of the weirder things about Diana's upbringing, like how she was brought to life by Zeus and molded from clay. And one of my favorite scenes in the movie, on the boat, where Diana and Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, are talking about reproductive biology and sex, and whether or not it's normal to physically sleep next to someone that you're not with. It's smaller moments like that in this movie that make it so much better than it could have been. Because, yeah, you could have just had a 2-hour movie of Wonder Woman punching people, and sure, it would have been visually entertaining, but you would have left not giving a shit. I mean, and that's what I didn't want going in. I was so afraid it was just going to be a really badass movie and nothing else. This film has so much more emotion than I expected. The scene that actually did make me come really close to tearing up is near the end, where Steve is telling Diana how he really feels right before he kills himself on that plane, destroying all of that poison gas. And then later, you get to hear what he actually said, and he gives her that watch. It's just really, really good storytelling and really good writing and acting on both of their parts. When I saw this a couple weeks ago, before I had read a single interview with Patty Jenkins, I knew she must have loved Richard Donner's Superman, because there's a lot of references to it and there's a very similar feel. And sure enough, she has come out and said that she was heavily inspired by it as a young girl. And so it's really cool to see that, because there's even like scene homages to it. There's that moment where Diana saves Steve in that alleyway by deflecting one of the bullets. That is very much so like this moment in the first Superman. Or like when Diana is holding her shield and her sword trying to get through that revolving door. Very much so like Christopher Reeve's portrayal of Clark Kent in the first Superman, where he gets stuck in the revolving door. But it's also a complete lack of brooding angst or cynicism in the character of Diana. She's very hopeful, she's full of joy. You could say naive, and she definitely is, but that's the character's journey. She starts very naive, and at the end of this movie, you can see that she's come to a higher level of understanding about what the world's really like. And that's why her character is so great in the film, because they don't just set her up as this perfect person who can kill everybody in the blink of an eye with no problems, and she has nothing to learn. She grows so much in this film that I began to care for that character quite a bit, and it makes me more excited for movies like Justice League just because she's in it. They also got something so right, and something that I was honestly concerned about. I'm always afraid whenever I hear about how a movie is the film that we need right now. This film can change the world. It's the movie that we need right now. I'm always so concerned when I hear that, because I'm afraid about politics in movies, the assertion of one's own beliefs in movies, and gratefully none of that exists here. There's a scene where it really could have gone that way. Where Steve Trevor says, you can't cross this barrier, okay? That's no man's land. It means no man can cross it. She could have turned to the camera and been like, well, I'm not a man, so, I'm just going to cross it, okay? Bye. But there's nothing like that. She just goes, it's what I have to do, and she does it. There isn't that scene where Patty Jenkins and the writer make men feel inferior, thusly empowering women. Because that's not how you should do it. Because then it's still about men. Female empowerment is all about women. Because I never watched the first Superman movie thinking, man, I feel so empowered because I'm a guy right now. Because Superman isn't just for men. And it's the same with Wonder Woman. Yes, a lot of women are going to love this movie, but so should men. She's not just a hero for girls, just as Superman isn't just a hero for boys. And they got that so right in this movie, and that was such a pleasure to see. Now, obviously, the biggest spoiler is that Sir Patrick is actually Ares in hiding. This really could have gone south because there's a lot of CG in this finale, which is to be expected. It's Wonder Woman. She is not a normal person, as I said in my non-spoiler review. She is a superhero, and so there's going to be CG. But there's a lot of it. Gratefully, because the film took so much time to set up the characters, it didn't bother me because I was invested. And I felt for her when she was trapped in that metal, when Ares was holding her down and she screamed no, when Steve died. I was like, I really felt that moment. It wasn't just, some cheesy no, like Revenge of the Sith. It actually, I felt like I was watching a real character dealing with something that was truly hurting her and affecting her. And it made me care. And I did tear up a little bit, I won't lie. The film succeeded on just about every single level. My least favorite thing about the film, as I said in my non-spoiler review, is the villains can be a little hammy. It was kind of stupid that the Danny Houston character was basically just a red herring the whole time. And when you watch the movie a second time, it makes you really not give a shit about any of his scenes. Beyond that, I really like this movie, and I hope that you guys did too. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, guys. If you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.